Chalked the lines out down the coast.
Hi, I'm Yee Ang. I've been a theatre director for probably more than 20 years now. And I've been teaching drama for the past 8 years full-time.
One half moon sleeping by the creek, and a woman put me on.
Okay, drama and theatre for me is a form of expression. It's how I communicate my thoughts and ideas to the public or to different people. So for me, I wasn't trained as a drama person, so I was trained as a visual person. Okay, I was trained as a art teacher actually. All right, so with my exposure to visual arts, which highly interests me because I was in the art elective program for 6 years. Okay, before I joined NIE to learn about teaching art. Okay, so but to me, the practice of art, the visual art itself, has one issue, which is a very solo thing. So to me, I find like processes of like painting, sculpture, and all that, it's probably a bit too lonely for me. So I started dwelling with drama or theatre when I was doing national service. I happened to watch a play, and from there I decided to approach the company and say, hey, you know, would you allow me to direct a play? So, which I did, but my first play died. All my actors ran away. So, which makes me humble myself, and so I actually started working in the drama company, the theatre company, as a volunteer for I think quite a couple of years before I really seriously started directing my own play, and with of course my own style of working, which is highly visual, which is something that I think at that point of time I would be considered quite a unique style, because yeah, because it was almost fully visual.
I won't wait, or I'll never get on.
Theatre scene in Singapore, I can only speak more for the drama scene. So I mean, I'm more active in the 90s. Alright, so during the 90s to me is far more exciting, because there are a lot of amateur groups which were trying different forms, different style of drama. Okay, some on stage, off stage, unique venues and stuff like that. But in today's situation, I mean, I'm not saying that it's good or bad, but in today's situation, there is much more focus on probably more commercial theatre. That means theatre that is more appealing to public taste. So to me, I rather watch television yeah, if I were to watch something that is catered to public taste.
Once too much for luck, and that's how many times the clock struck. I wandered home saying your name.
Okay, the plays I've directed, we used to believe in the concept of small. That means sometimes people call us alternative theatre, sometimes people call us visual theatre, sometimes people call us physical theatre. There are many names and tags to my form of theatre. So we are more interested, or rather I am more interested in working in small space or even interesting alternative space. Okay, for the longest time I present works that are within my studio, which per performance we are looking at only 30 audience. Okay, one of the work that I like very much is called, it's called About. Okay, A-B-O-U-T, About, which is a movement. Half is split into 3 parts. So first part called About Words, which is a text-based portion, and then the second part and the last part about silence and about something else I can't remember. Okay, which is totally in silence, and so it was a reaction to, if I don't remember wrongly, it was 1998, which was a reaction to the Indonesian crisis, okay, in which a lot of violence is happening in Indonesia. So yeah, so it was a piece that we, you know, we want to do. I want to do to talk about the Indonesian crisis. Yeah.
You leaned in and said, make music with the chatter.
Censorship in theatre, in the 1990s or even prior to that, censorship is quite strong. Okay, in those days, I still remember that we need to apply to this unit in the police department, which is called Public Entertainment Licensing Unit, okay, in which we need to apply for a license before we can perform. So if you don't have a license and you perform, then of course they have all rights to arrest you. So, but the interesting thing with PELU, okay, Public Entertainment Licensing Unit, is that it also covers licensing for other events. For example, your Getai, okay, your KTV and your all those, okay, if I say dodgy stuff. Okay, so it was very interesting because an artist who go and apply for a license will be sitting together with, you know, you'll see a variety of people. To me, that was very interesting. But censorship is much stronger in the 90s. In today's context, I think censorship, I think you're allowed to say most things that you want, as long as you do not touch any real people's names, or unless you get approval for that, or if you touch anything that affects national security. For example, you touch anything that's racial, okay, then I think there's a no-no in terms of our public censorship. Yeah. Other than that, I think most things are not censored. Yeah. Inspiration, in the early days, I draw inspiration from a lot of stuff. I draw installation. I draw what's the word? Inspiration. I draw inspiration from a lot of visual art pieces, actually, a lot of installation, a lot of performance art pieces, in which sometimes I find action more interesting than words. Okay, so yeah, I used to buy art books for reference. Okay. And also my earliest inspiration came from, okay, like I say, I wasn't drama trained, so my mentor, who's the artistic director of the company that I started off with, actually gave me a lot of encouragement, as well as basically he mentored me throughout the whole journey. Although our style might not be very similar, but my mentor is extremely knowledgeable. That's when I was exposed to many different things. For example, at one point I was highly interested in Grotowski, okay, poor theatre, physical theatre, as well as at that point in time I was interested in multidisciplinary art forms, okay, like use of video, use of projections, use of various object and installation in performance. And also my inspiration also comes from things that I feel strongly about in terms of content. All right. For example, one time I read this article about two boys who were, I think, 12 or 13 years old, and they led a guerrilla army and stormed and occupied a Thai hospital. So I was very intrigued, because these were like 12, 13-year-old boys smoking cigarettes and, you know, and holding rifles. So I went to do more research about child soldiers, and yeah, and I had a play called War Games, in which I was contrasting our local kids who are playing with electronic or digital war games as compared to real children who are fighting wars. Yeah, so yeah, my inspiration comes from many areas. At one point, people call me the angry artist, because yeah, anything that I'm not happy about, I probably becomes a play.
Sometimes I feel just a warning.
Memorable. Okay, of course, it's creating a play, right? For me, I work heavily in a device process in which most of the materials are worked or produced during rehearsals and workshops. Okay, so there's one process which was quite interesting, in which I did a play called Nevermind. Because I was throughout my whole journey, I was just exploring different. In fact, you can call it searching for an identity, because as Singaporean, I think we have a lot of issues about who we are. Okay, like we need to reconcile with a lot of what happens in the past. So when I have done many research and many plays about the different aspects of who we are, finally I did a piece which directly questions, or rather attempt to answer, what is a Singaporean? Of course, the title is, is contradictory lah. Never mind. So we went through a lengthy process of about 6-7 months, I think, researching and devising different scenes, and finally. But when I need to put the play together, I realized I have one huge issue. That is, I find that the play is heading nowhere. So, but it was 1 month to performance. Finally, I reconciled to myself and said that, yeah, probably the Singapore identity itself is heading nowhere. That's why the play is heading nowhere. So, basically, I put the play together as it is and presented the play. And it's the only play that I actually restaged. Yeah, so, to me, that's interesting.
Just to see how far they fly.
Being a teacher has impacted me in a way in which it has occupied me so much that throughout my whole teaching career of 8 years, I only managed to produce 2 performances of my own. Okay, or else the rest is all with the school. So yeah, probably I hope I can do more work. Yeah, that's the major impact. I think arts education is highly important because it helps to elevate our standing as number one as a human being, right? And of course culturally, how do we identify ourselves? Okay, so in terms of art education, whether it's drama, visual arts and all that, I find the local education has a lot of lacking in terms of recognizing or exposing our students to local artists or local art form or local culture. Okay, to me that is a huge problem, because over the past, I think 50 years, we have created a lot of international acclaimed artists, but yet we as a Singaporean or as educator are not, how should I put it, do not really recognize their achievements. Yeah, why are we still learning a lot of overseas literature and all that, in which we already have very strong writers? All right, so yeah, probably that is a question to think about. Education, like I said, probably is a very important part of humanity. All right, something that makes us human, because if you realize artists are somehow like cockroaches. No matter how poor the country is, artists will survive. There will be people who are doing artwork. There will be people who are activists. There are people who wants to do something and probably change the world. So I think for me that is very important. In no matter how small a way, artists always tries to do something to affect change. Yeah.
Big as a birthday, 'cause I left all my doubts on the air.
Advice for people who are looking for career in theatre, that is, if you want to, it depends on what kind of drama, what kind of theatre you want to do. If you are looking for maybe Broadway, more commercial type of theatre, then yeah, just do it. Go for as many auditions as you want. But if you are looking for creating work, then you want to express yourself, that you want to affect change, then I think one very important thing is you have to find your own way of survival. Okay, if you are keep thinking of making money or trying to survive, then you know the scene itself can be quite cruel. So yeah.
Shatter in here and whisper all the notes in my ears. I didn't know the weight of my tongue.